there was a show on last night called Black Women Own the Conversation. You ever heard that?
Yeah, I saw it. I was going to talk about it.
Yeah. And it was horrible. It was literally horrible. And I was thinking, these women need some men. They have never known a real man. So they had these so-called experts on a panel, and two of them they black, but two of them like real fat. They were so fat you couldn't even see the chair. And they're like fat from head to toe. And they were up there talking all this stuff that wasn't even true. And they were talking about their hair, they were talking about depression and all that stuff, right? But it wasn't true what they were saying. It just wasn't true at all. And all these people getting up and confess, oh, I used to be depressed. I went to a doctor and they gave me medication. That didn't work, and just lost women, really. Educated women, though, they all had degrees, so it seemed. But they were dumb as a doorknob. And so also when I realized they have never had an earthly father to show them the right way to go. And as a result, they don't have that relationship with God. Because if you don't love your earthly father, it's impossible to love God. The man represents God. He's the son of God, so he represents the Father on the earth. This is why men have to come back to God, their natural state of being, overcome the mama, return to the Father. Ernest, you want to say something about Black Women Own the Conversation? It was on Oprah channel, I think, because it's OWN, right, which is her network. Own. Anybody, you seen that?
Yes.
You saw it?
No, I've seen that channel you're talking about.
Oh, okay. It was horrible. All those women were miserable. And then they all want to wear braids.
Hey.
Oh, sorry. That's one holy sister. But they were talking about how they don't want to be like the white girls anymore. They want to be able to wear their hair any kind of way they want, natural. They call it natural, right? And any kind of way they want. And then, so they were all moaning and groaning about that. And then one lady in the audience raised her hand, and she said, I don't like it when women wear wigs. They don't look right in wigs. And all hell broke. They're like, no! They hated it. There's one person that disagreed. They really didn't like that at all, because you have to all say the same thing, right? But it was so interesting. If you can catch that, I recommend it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was going to comment about that. Then I had a question regarding the suicide topic.
Yes.
So that I did see a piece on that on Oprah's network, and they were talking about spanking, and I think it was police brutality. And one lady in the audience got up, and she said she has two kids, two boys, 26 and 28.
Come out here to...
She said she had two boys, 26 and 28, and that when they go out driving, she's like concerned about their safety. And then she said that they always tell her, well, Mom, racism doesn't exist. So I thought of you when she said that. But and she's like, no, I need to let them know that, you know, the white man's after them and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of interesting.
That's a good point. I didn't see that particular episode. Last night they were talking about, the black women were talking about racism in the workplace. And they were saying, a part of my depression is due to racism in the workplace. And I'm thinking, it's not even real. Racism does not exist. So these people have believed into a lie, and so they're at work, and the white people just working, having fun, and the blacks are sitting there thinking that they're being discriminated against. So Satan got them believing that, and as a result, they feel depressed over lies. And that's what you got to overcome, the lies. Satan is all lies all the time about everything. Even when these people get up and talk about how wonderful a person was and they were not, it's from Satan. He's always trying to steal the soul, so he'll use the church to tell a lie. You must be born again. I want you to know that the kingdom of heaven is within. It's within. It's up there. And the thing about heaven, now I hope I go. Well, I'm not dying, so I don't have to worry about it. But if I were dying, I hope I would go to heaven, right? But only God made that decision. Not one person on earth knows if I'm going to heaven or not, or even if they're going or not. As you were saying, it's just said to make you feel comfortable. But why not? Wouldn't you rather have reality? Isn't it best to say, I don't know, but I hope so?
Yeah, absolutely.
that it's best to say that than to say, well, I know this person's gone to heaven. Now all the sinners say they're going to heaven anyway. It doesn't matter. Because the Christian just said, there's no good person went to heaven. And to kill yourself is weak. You're really giving it to Satan. I have tried that before when I was in my 20s. I used to date. And whenever a woman would leave and I wasn't ready for her to break up with me, I want to kill myself. I took some pills, maybe some of yours. I'm so glad it didn't work. Just imagine if I were dead now. Where would I be? What would I be doing, right? But at that, I'm telling you, sitting next to Jesus. Yeah. But I'm glad I didn't die, and I realized later why I even thought of it, because Satan used that too. I made the woman my God. And when that God left me, I felt empty again. She took the place of the longing of a father. And that's what people do with money, places, and things. You can't let anybody or anything, you shouldn't, take the place of that emptiness. Because only God should fulfill that. And he will once you stop being angry about it. Because anger is the same thing as resentment, judgment, and hatred. You should have peace. When you're born again, you will have peace. And that doesn't mean Satan won't come and tempt you. And if you give into it, believe in his lies at all, you'll feel it. And so if you feel it, just relax. It'll go, because God got you now. It'll pass. It really will pass. And with all your little things that you're a slave to, don't make it a big deal. You can't make yourself get over those things. Because you may stop smoking, but you start chewing tobacco again. Or you may stop chewing the tobacco, you start dipping stuff. Or you start something else. But if you just notice it, the light of God shining on it, he would take all that unrighteous stuff away from you, and now you can keep the 10 Commandments. He would cause you to do that. We can't make ourselves do any of those things. He caused everything to happen. We just have to be still, allow those things to happen. So don't fight those issues, and don't judge yourself about them. That make sense? Yeah. Yes.
One other thing regarding suicide. I noticed that the more society talks about like a certain issue, the worse it gets. I've got a son that's in high school right now. Right when they get their ID, school IDs, on the back of it, it's got a suicide, big old suicide thing. It says suicide prevention, call this and this, and they're not even thinking about it, and they're already implanting that idea in their head. But
that's what Satan does.
It seems like the more society talks about it, the worse the issue gets.
Everybody killing themselves now because the society is pushing that now. Mental illness this, mental illness that, right? So Satan's going to tempt you with it. You're depressed. Then they say it's because of depression or it's because of this or that. Then you're going to believe that too. And next thing you know, you're out. You could be in the world but not of the world. Really. And God will separate you from the world. The world is crazy. All those people with those degrees and things, they have no idea what they're talking about. None. They've been taught to have a degree, and they're just repeating what they've been taught. They don't have the answer. The answer is inside of you. It really is. Yes, sir. Right here. Good. Wake up, Esteban. For some reason, the Mexicans and the blacks like to sit down while they're working.
And sometimes sleep.
And sometimes sleep. Yes.
No, another lie I noticed talking about the suicide thing is that people have been fooled to believe, it's like someone who commits suicide, why are they any different than a murderer? They killed somebody. And
they killed themselves?
They killed themselves, but it's more of a victim mentality, like, oh, poor person, when really they murdered somebody and it was themselves, but still they took a life.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I was just thinking as you were speaking how the world have set things up, because the world is of Satan, right? They got it set up where they can deceive you. They can really make you think that they're right in what they're saying. Like with the suicide thing and depression, that's all you hear now. It's just everybody's suicide, and while you're taking the pills, they're taking your guns. They're enslaving you, causing you to become subject to them. You better wake up so you can really see what they're doing to you. They're really setting you up. Absolutely. They cause you to sleep together before marriage. Abortion. There was a young woman out of Texas, I think, young girl. She was in high school, a cheerleader or something, and she got pregnant, but she apparently didn't know it. She hid it, and so somehow or another, she had the baby. She said the baby was dead, but she set the baby on fire to burn it, the dead body on fire. She said, and so, but they were about to put her in prison for doing that. So I'm thinking, on one hand, you could abort a baby up until the 9th month. On another hand, if a young girl has a baby and the baby is born dead, but because she's a young girl, she didn't want to be known, the cheerleader, they're going to put her in prison. What's the difference between the baby coming out alive and you killing it, than someone who didn't want to have a baby or whatever, and you killing it? What's the difference? It's the same thing. Right, there is no difference. But the world is all screwed up like that. And you got to come out of it. And you can't make yourself come out. You'll be in there, but you'll be out of it. You'll be separated from it. It will happen naturally. And then you will see how crazy the world is. But it's hell. It's hell on earth. It really is.
It normalizes homosexuality.
Everything. Homosexuality. Now they're calling two men or two women married, husband and wife, while the straight people call it partners. I'm like, that's backwards. It should be the other way around. But you got to wake up, folks.